Or like there was one that was like super popular, like I've never seen two pretty best friends. So I'm just like, wow, like these trends are very, I don't know, it's very like degrading for a person to look at.
Hi, my name is Sanjana.
Hello guys, I'm Angela.
I'm Kalena, and this is Earthlistening out there.
Okay, so today we are here. It's an all-girl episode today, and we decided to talk about body image issues. We decided to choose this topic because like it's after the holidays, and usually the holidays are when we eat a lot. So we thought, hey, might as well talk about body image issues.
Yes, that's
Okay.
really true. Eating a lot. I don't know how much I ate during the holidays. Literally, because you're at home doing nothing now. It's like every time I'm bored, I'm like, I could bake this or I could eat this. Or, like I'm just thinking about food all the time.
Yeah, and then like there's so much chocolate and like cookies, and I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So, over time, we've seen a drastic change in like body, like the way people want their bodies and the way that we like see it, and like even on social media now, like the beginning of quarantine, the fashion trends have obviously changed now we wear masks and stuff, and like
Mhm.
there's like the whole tie-dye thing was like a big thing on Instagram, and then like jewelry like butterflies became a thing. I don't even know, like I know butterflies,
Mm.
but I don't even know why they were like such a big thing. Like they were literally everywhere. So like I feel like the whole topic of body issues is also related to fashion at the time, because like bodycon is a thing, but it's still a thing, but it's not as at its like peak anymore. But at one point it was at its highest peak, and then we see more of those type of fashion trends move and go. But those fashion trends correlate to how people want their bodies to be like. So I see like a direct relation between those.
I would say just to make it more relatable for me, um, I personally never face a lot of like body image issues. Like I'm not super insecure about my body, but there are types where like I faced insecurities about like, oh, I think my arm has a little bit too much fat or my stomach is not toned enough or stuff like that, where like it kind of ties back into just going with the trends and like different trends saying like, oh, being super skinny is like the trend makes you like look back at yourself and think like, oh my gosh, like I'm not fitting in the trend or I'm not skinny enough, I'm not thick enough, whatever. But yeah.
Beauty trends or like the ideal body type, it's so wishy-washy. Like it changes pretty much every decade. Like back in the 90s, heroin chic was the trend, which was, very thin. And then
Mm-hmm.
now having curves and everything like that, that's more so the trend. So that's why I feel like um, body types are like the perfect body type really you shouldn't focus too much on that, and you shouldn't worry too much about it just because the public is so fickle when it comes to their opinion on what you know type of body women should have.
So different beauty standards based on like each country in the world.
So for the American beauty standard, I'm pretty sure it's pretty commonly known, but it's just being tan, having white teeth, being thin, maybe having full lips, small waist, big butts, maybe like flawless makeup.
When you go to Asia, you see the whole other opposite sides, like being paler or being like more like
Mm-hmm.
your just skin tone being more fair. Having double eyelids, that's more of like I would say like upper northern Asia, and then narrow nose, oval shaped face. I've seen that a lot, and then being thin. Like the being thin is correlating. I'm pretty sure like being thin is just with health. Like
Mm-hmm.
being not lean, but just don't be like obviously being a certain weight is correlated to how healthy you are, and it's vice versa like that. But you see like the total opposite. Like Asians like let's be fair, and then America's like let me go the opposite way. Let me go tan. Like it's very different, and like that's the biggest thing I've noticed.
Yeah, definitely. I would say like for me, it's especially like the skin thing is really like prominent in my life. Like, I remember when I was little, like people would just like praise me for having like paler skin, or like sometimes they would assume like I'm Korean because of my pale skin. But like yeah, it's very interesting how like like Caucasians, they prefer like darker skin when they naturally have like lighter skin, and like vice versa, like what Sanjana mentioned, Asian or darker skin tone people want to have lighter because it's like, oh, it makes you look more beautiful. I think it also ties back to like historical ties where like if you were paler, you had a higher status or you were more well kept instead of being like a low status worker. But yeah, it's pretty interesting.
For me personally, I kind of like being tan. So
Mm.
like even at school, there some of my friends, they don't like being in the sun as much because they don't want to be as tan. Whereas for me, it's like, oh, it's sunny today. I'm gonna go outside without any sunscreen, which is bad, I know. But I'm always like, oh, there's a chance I could, get a little tan. And then I just think it's funny how like everyone's opinion on beauty is just so different depending on their ethnicity or the standards they were raised with.
Mm-hmm. And then just to ask a question for all of you guys, have you guys ever struggled to fit into a specific beauty standard? Like, for example, wanting to have a different skin color or wanting to have better nose, stuff like that?
Well, I don't know for me because my ethnicity is mixed.
Mm.
So I'm like part Caucasian and then part Filipino and Japanese. When I tell people that, oh, I'm part Asian too, they're like, really? You don't
Oh.
look that Asian. And then I don't know, I just feel like it's a little weird.
Personally, I've never struggled with it because like even when you see things online, I just ignore it. Like, and like even though my like parents say, I'm like, oh, whatever. Like, I just kind of like they say it because like that's what they grew up with. But like I grew up like in the United States. Like I see a different perspective and I see a different type of way of living. So I consider it and then I just be like, oh wait, that I feel like it applies to me, but it also doesn't apply to me. And if I'm fine with it, I can be fine with it. If I see something online, they can do whatever they want. I can do whatever I want. So I just kind of like basically build a wall. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So personally, I never struggled with any of those stuff either. But I'm actually like curious, Kalena, you mentioned that you were mixed. So like I'm curious, like coming from two different like ethnicities, do you ever face like mixed like family pressure or any like thoughts about how you should look or be?
Not really. I think just because like my family, they're very loving people and very accepting. And instead of like, it's really weird because for me personally, or like for some people, they'll say that I have a good nose, whereas I'm like, oh God, I wish I could get a nose job, or something like that. But then I just think it's weird. Like, I really don't know how to explain it. Like my Filipino side, they praise me for having like more of the white features. I don't know if this makes any sense, but then like my white side praises me for having more Asian features. So I try to block it out, honestly. I don't take it into consideration at all. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
Now that we've discussed, now that as we're going more into the social media side, it's more of like, oh, what can I do to make sure I don't get negatively impacted by the way social media is seen everywhere now, especially at home, because like we're constantly on our phones. And my screen time has gone up a lot since staying at home. Like I've never seen it this high. Usually it's like 30 minutes or 20 minutes a day. Now it's like 4 hours.
You were once at 30 or 20 minutes? Oh my God. My average like during school was 5 hours or something.
I like at school it was like just like the simple things. Oh, I need to submit something, and then after that I was just like putting it away.
Oh, I think in the middle it got really bad, so it was like 9 hours or something. It was so bad.
Oh my God.
Same. I feel like for me, I'm also in the same boat as Kalena. Like,
okay, good.
School, yeah, during
I was
school,
like, am I the only one?
I know, yeah. Like during school, I would have like 2 hours, maybe 3 hours, and then like after like quarantine started, it's like it went up to 9 hours, and even
I know,
one
it's
time.
so bad.
Yeah,
I thought I was bad. You guys are like,
I know. You thought you were bad. When I heard you say
like really
minutes, I was like, girl, that's nothing. You should see my screen time.
Yeah,
I get really
bad.
bored, like on the street. Like after a while, I'm like, what am I even doing? Like I question, like when I'm watching TV, I'm like, should I be doing this? Like, I should be spending my time more wisely. Like I'm arguing in my brain. Like I don't even know what I'm doing.
Yeah, no, I think that too, but I still go on my phone. Like it's so bad.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I relate.
Okay, back on track.
Yeah.
With those whole screen times increasing and, all of us looking at our phones, what are some ways we can all try to cut out social media and those negative impacts that we have on ourselves?
I mean, I feel like from my personal experience, like sometimes when I like force myself to be productive and avoid clicking on clicking on Instagram or TikTok, like when I've like pushed myself to not do that, I realize like I actually feel happier. Like when I'm on Instagram, I have this feeling like even though it's like, oh, I'm like enjoying it on the surface, inside deep down I still feel like, I don't know, it makes me a little bit more stressed or like not happy. It's like unconsciously. And then when I actually like force myself not to go on there, I see the actual results, like I'm actually much happier. And I feel like with social media, you constantly like see like celebrities, they're like flawless skin, like oh my gosh, so beautiful, the aesthetics, and I'm just like wow, like they're so beautiful. And then just like blocking that out, blocking like the unhealthy like portrayal of some influencers and just like focusing on myself, I realized that made me a lot happier. So I'd say one thing would be like to try to limit your social media intake because it really influences how you think and how you perceive like what should be healthy or what should be beautiful.
Yeah, back before quarantine, I used to go on TikTok a lot. Like I would always go on it and spend way too much time. So then for Lent, I gave it up. And then once Lent was over, I got it back and I like the first video I saw was just like a bunch of really beautiful girls with like really skinny bodies and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't look at this anymore." So I just deleted the app off my phone and ever since then, I feel like it's helped me unplug and just yeah, it's helped me a lot.
Kind of the opposite. I didn't have TikTok at all, like until quarantine. And then I was like, I don't know, I think everybody was talking about it, and I was like, you know what, let's just hop on the bandwagon. Like, let me just step on there. Bad idea. Wish I never stepped on there. Like, literally, I'm like, with like older iPhones, you can't say the time when you're on TikTok.
Yeah.
But like with like higher iPhones now, like the ones without the home button, you can see the time. But before, I used to have like an older phone. I couldn't see how long I was spending on my phone. And after I was done, I would see the time like, oh my god, I've been on this thing for 2 hours. Like you just don't even notice it. Like now I'm controlling it, like I'm bringing it back down. But yeah, people like you guys said, you blocked it out. I feel like that guilty feeling that you might feel, Angela. I also feel that too, but I think it's more for me because I'm not like I'm spending time on like social media and like wasting my time, and I should be doing like more productive things. But whenever I go on, I usually don't really like. I see people do it, and I'm like, wow, that person is really healthy. Guess I'm not that healthy. Like I'm just like, oh, whatever. And then I kind of also like take notes of like things that they're doing that's worked for them really well. And like, oh, can I implement that in my life? If it's too healthy, probably not going to do it because it's just too big of a commitment. But yeah, I just kind of like either take the positive, I just kind of ignore the negative stuff. And besides that, I don't really, and I also don't really follow those kind of people, I kind of follow those people who make it entertaining to watch, or like, especially on TikTok or like on Instagram. I don't really follow many celebrities that like post about that kind of stuff.
I feel like TikTok itself is pretty, I mean, arguably like toxic. I mean, like I've seen trends. Like I sometimes like I go on YouTube, and then I don't go on TikTok that much, but then on YouTube sometimes they're like compilation of TikTok videos, and then I see like there's like trends where like a nose job check or like there was one that was like super popular, like I've never seen two pretty best friends. So I'm just like wow, like these trends are very, I don't know, it's very like degrading for a person to look at because they're like wow, like these people are gorgeous, or like have people like, I don't know, like indirectly like saying, oh, I'm more beautiful than everyone else. It's like it's a very toxic atmosphere, I think. Yeah. Okay, so then going off about like talking about how social media and like some influencers, they support like eating healthy or stuff like that. Do you guys ever faced eating disorders or eating unhealthy eating habits, or know of people who face these type of challenges?
For me personally, I'll just have like me and my friends will have conversations about like, oh, how much did you eat today? Oh wow, you didn't eat that much. That's good. Like without really knowing how harmful that is. Like I know after the conversation's done, I'm like, why did I just say that? That's stupid. Why am I thinking like that? But I feel like it sort of comes with being a teenager in today's society. I don't know. That's just me.
Yeah, personally for me, I've never had like severe eating disorders or any eating disorders at all. I would say like recently, like during quarantine, I started eating like less during dinner time because originally, like previously, I would always eat until like I'm super full. But like after that, I started like eating just like mediocre. I'm not like starving, but like I'm full, content. And I realized that like I feel like not being so full, it feels better for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then I was like, oh, hey, that's pretty good. So I think like not excessively like starving yourself. That's definitely like the both extremes are bad. Like
Yeah.
overly starving yourself, yeah, or like eating too much. Like that's obviously extremes are bad. But like finding a like happy medium of like how much you want to eat that's healthy, I think that's pretty important too. And then unfortunately, I know like a friend of mine who I don't know if it counts as a disorder, but like sometimes even her parents influence her to like not eat too much. But honestly, like the amount she eats like for breakfast is like very little. So I'm just like, you probably should eat more. But yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it, like the whole thing, like it's like wait, like even though you're telling people eat a certain way, like each person's body is different.
Yeah.
Like I know people who like eat literally like the whole buffet and like nothing happens. Like and like any people like who eat like one thing and suddenly like they're facing the consequences for like a good week or two. So it just really depends on how your body is.
Mhm.
And finding a happy medium, like Angela mentioned, is like the perfect way to figure out, oh, let me like this is a good way for me to feel good and for my body to appreciate it and like an equal balance between the both. Okay, now that we've covered all bases with body image issues, overall body image issues, thank you guys so much for listening to us. If you guys have any sort of comments about it, you can comment it down below on our IGTV or DM us on Instagram. Thank you guys so much for listening. Bye.
Bye, guys. Thanks for listening. Check us out on Instagram at Earthlinking Official. Check out our website on Instagram located in a link in our bio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Earthlinking Team. Donate to our GoFundMe located in the description box below. This is Earthlistening. See you in the next episode.